Here we are with Patrick today. Thank you so much for giving us your time this afternoon. You've really, you've jumped in at the last minute. We set a mission last week. We wanted to keep hairdressing community connected, hyped, buzzed, entertained, and educated and inspired. But most of all, we wanted to motivate people. And for me, you are the epitome of a motivating hairdresser. You're the biggest showman going. There isn't anything that you haven't done on a show, and it's a pleasure to have time to hear what you.
Thank you, Jason. Well, thank you very much. I mean, listen, I'm fully embraced. I don't know whether you've been following me at all, but boy, am I embraced in digital. Boy, have I been giving back. I'm 35 weeks in now. 35 weeks I have been giving hairdressers free hairstyles every week. I've been doing a conversation with for many, many weeks now. And so like you, I've been reaching out on my digital platforms to try and make a difference, but also, Jason, and I'm a businessman, also to figure out how the hell am I going to raise any money out of social media?
It's a conundrum. I'm still working on that one myself. I think we're about 35 weeks in as well. We're still trying to figure that formula. The world's been changing digitally, for a long time, probably 10 years. But COVID has just expedited that whole process. But it's also raised everybody's awareness and necessity for the digital market now. And like I say, we're all jumping in. But I think it's all about delivering quality content and good take home. And the products and the hair and the education that you've been doing is second to none as always. It's so inspiring, the hair that you do, Patrick.
Oh, thank you, Jason. It was really important for me that the bizarre thing, Jason, was I had my studio in place. So we've been doing a lot of our own recording, a lot of our own education. We have a digital online platform for Access All Area members, which means people can access and buy digital content from us. So we had all of that. And so when the pandemic hit, it was really bizarre. We took our company, which was a massively international company, all over the world. And within 3 weeks, I swear to God, Jason, in 3 weeks, we took our company and we literally pulled it and dragged it around to face the digital world. So we went from front facing, complete huge audiences all over the world. We went to completely digital facing, and we haven't looked back.
I love that. I mean, like you say, it's so nice to reminisce. But it's so much more important to live in the present and just keep facing forward.
Oh, listen,
it's the only option we have.
I often say the only song I'm going to sing is Zippity Doo Dah, because I mean, at the end of the day, listen, matey, we can all cry into our soup if we want to. What's the fucking point? There's no point. You can't cry into your soup. You've got to get on. And listen, if I can do it, and I was 60 this year, Jason, 60 years old. If I can do it and still be relevant, then everybody else can as well. Just be honest, just have great content, and believe in what you're talking about. And that's the most important thing. And people will follow. People will follow.
I think we've been doing a live every week. And one of the running themes in the messaging that we always come across is how authenticity is such an important factor to what we're doing on social. One, it can be seen through quite easily when you're not, but two, I just think people now, when we're talking commercially, what people buy into is what you believe. They want something, because I think people are becoming aware of what's fake and what's not on social media. So I think it's so important to be able to deliver an authentic message and something honest.
It really is. And I think, Jason, with the pandemic, with everything that's happened, oh, you're making me jealous with that cup of tea now. With everything that's happened, I think people are looking for role models. People are looking for people that they can believe in. And I think the big corporations, the great big corporations and that whole thing, it's becoming a lot more personal now, and I think this is what's really important. So you have to have a backstory. You have to know what you want to talk about, and you have to be authentic when you deliver. I've been going so long now. And one of the things, Jason, that I'm very proud of, and this is something that I'm very proud of personally, Jason, I am part of the industry's life story. I am part of hairdressers' life story, whether they are your grandmother, whether they are your mother, whether they are you. I am now 3 or 4 generations in, and I'm still going, you know, and I love that your nan knows who I am. I love that probably your mum goes, oh, I, you know, used to watch him or whatever. And now here you are interviewing me. I mean, isn't that a blessing? That's a blessing, don't you think?
No, it truly is. I mean, I've learned over the last few years, you know, to be very grateful of what life brings, and on a daily, you know, on a daily manner, and you know, and how it can turn on its head in an instant as well. You know, obviously we woke up this morning to some sad news with Adam, and we were kind of, you know, it was time to hit the decks and get working. And now we're blessed with such an icon and spending time with you. As I said, I remember working from one of your books when I was a Saturday boy. I think you were one of the first shows I ever saw at Salon International, you know, which again was, you know, a good 20 years ago for me. So it was the beginnings of a very great career for me. But you've inspired so many and so many before me. How do you stay motivated though?
Well, I stay motivated by staying creative, and that's really important. I think as hairdressers, you know, I mean, it's something we always say, you know, we've got to be creative, stay connected. But really, creativity is what drives us. You know, if you're not creative, imagine, Jason, you're not creative. Imagine you don't really like people. What kind of shit hairdresser would you be? You'd be so bad, wouldn't you? So I think it's all... You know, I think it's all about really staying motivated. And I often say to people in this pandemic, particularly if you've been furloughed and you're off, try and invest into your work. Try if you can to learn new skills. You know, try if you can to be better than before you went into lockdown.
How do you handle that pressure of putting that on the line every time?
Are you crazy? There's no pressure. There's no pressure. And I'll tell you why there's no pressure. Because if you think what I'm doing shite, go somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? And honestly, I am so relaxed with my creativity. I love it. I give unconditionally on stage. I do what I do, and I do it the best I can possibly do. And if someone feels a little bit of hate towards that, I don't need them. Go away. Do you know what I mean? I'll just take the people that truly want to come on my journey, and I want to take the people that want to be enriched. I want the people that are open. I don't want the haters. So if anybody says, and the other thing as well, Jason, I learned this many, many years ago, if they want Trevor Sorby, book Trevor Sorby. If they want Adam Reed, book Adam Reed. If they want Patrick Cameron, well, then book me. And I found through the years, none of us people who you look up to, the hairdressers who you consider icons of our industry, none of us feel in competition with each other because we're very, very much our own people. And not only that, I love Trevor. I love Adam. I love all the other ones that are doing what they're doing. I respect them. And so consequently, you find when you get to a certain level, the respect comes back at you as well. So, you know, that's a lovely, lovely thing. I think people who are more threatened about it are people that don't believe in themselves as much as they should. And then you would be more threatened by people's opinions. I don't mind people's opinions. It doesn't worry me at all.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's doing it for yourself and not for others, right? It's kind of...
Absolutely. I mean, ultimately it comes from you, but you are doing it for others, even though you're doing it for yourself. Because one of the things about being a great educator is being able to bring people on that journey. It's not about you. When I get up on stage, it's not about me. I mean, Patrick Cameron, and I speak of myself often in the third party, which is quite interesting. But I often think Patrick Cameron can do anything on stage. He can go whiz, bang, bang, and have people standing on their feet and going, oh my God. But what's the value of that, Jason? There's no value in me showing people how good I am. What the value is me sharing my gift with them to make them better.
What's your fondest memory of shows though? Like, what's the best show you've kind of done?
One of my favorite shows was a show that I did in Monaco. I was asked to do Wella Trend Vision. I host Wella Trend Vision, and I'm one of their biggest hosts. I host their huge, big global event, which goes out to 65 countries around the world. We have a reach of hundreds of thousands of people that watch, and I host the whole entire thing. And they asked me a couple of years ago whether I would actually do a show, because normally I host it and I don't do hair. All the hairdressers know me, but I don't, for this particular show, I'm just really the orator. So they asked me, because we're in Monaco, they wanted to do a special tribute to Princess Grace. Would I do the show? And I said, absolutely. My art director made the most incredible dresses. Each dress had over 36 meters of fabric. They were huge ball gowns with these massive, beautiful avant-garde coiffures on the head. Amazing, amazing, amazing hair. Couture hair, real couture Vogue hair. And anyway, before the show, we did it. We got it all up to speed. And about 3 weeks before the show, my father passed away. And I had to fly back to New Zealand for 5 days. 5 days in New Zealand. 5 days, Jason. You've got no idea how scrambled your brain is. I went home to his funeral. I came back, and I had to then go on and do 3 countries in Eastern Europe. I had a tour of 3 countries before I came back to London again, and then went to Monaco to do a show. So it was all very, very bang, 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 bang. And I'll never forget, the production company said to me, they said, Patrick, we've listened to the music that you want to play for your show, and we're not really sure about it. I think we'd like to change it. And I very calmly, I sent an email back. I said, listen, I have no problem if you would like to change my music, but if you fuck up my show, I will be very angry. And with that, I got an email back within 10 minutes saying, Mr. Cameron, your music will be perfect. Thank you very much. Well, of course, my music was perfect. Of course, Jason, I am the showman. And of course, Jason, after all these many, 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 many years, I know what it takes to do a show. I did the show, Jason. There was not a dry eye in the house. I came out onto stage. I had a standing ovation. People were crying. And the production company could not even talk to me afterwards because they were so upset with themselves because of what I had done and how amazing it was, that they couldn't even talk to me about their feelings about what I had portrayed and what I had done for the show. And I just looked up to the heavens and just said, thank you, Dad.
Can I have a little bit of fun? Can we do a quick fire question round?
Go.
So who is your style icon?
My style icon many, many years ago, but when I was starting out, was Andrew Collins. I loved Andrew. I adore Andrew. I thought he was so talented, and he inspired me to really start looking at long hair in a whole new way.
Wow. Cocktail of choice?
Well, I don't drink. I've never drunk. So I don't drink. So my cocktail of choice would be sparkling water.
That's fine. I don't drink either anymore. So I like mixing a cat's claw in water. Gives you really nice bitters.
It's very nice. But also, too, I love a Virgin Mary. So, you know,
Virgin Mary, super spicy for me. How do you take it?
Very nice. Oh, with lots of sauce and stuff. I love it. It's really gorgeous.
And have you ever had an embarrassing show moment?
Oh, God, yes. Are you crazy? Of course I have. I remember doing a big show. I had the model all prepped. I was coming up to do an amazing piece of artistry on stage. I was dancing. The music was pumping. I had a goddess. She was dressed as a goddess. And it was around a big open swimming pool. And it was a stage built in the middle of a swimming pool. Unbeknownst to me, Jason, I had forgotten. It was in a hot climate with all that water. I had the hair prepped up on her head, and her hair turned to frizz. I'll never forget it because of all the moisture in the air. Of course, the hair just turned into frizz. Now, luckily, very luckily, I've got a good eye for shape and balance. So the shape and balance looked beautiful, but if you looked at the hairstyle, it was absolute shite.
What did you do in that moment? Did you explain it out, or did you just try and style it? Did you go with it?
Oh no, I worked it through. You know, listen, no one knows. You're the one that knows all the problems. No, not at all. Didn't say a word. Just smiled nicely and did it.
And what's your favorite hair trend at the moment?
My favorite hair trend is coloring. There's so much beautiful coloring going on, and I just love. I love a lot of the nuances of what's happening within hair color. I'm not a great lover of black and white, you know, when you've got colors so juxtaposed to each other. Sometimes I say to myself, just because you can doesn't mean to say you should. You know, I
love that.
I want to see a beautiful balance in the hair. I want to see a beautiful color. I want to see tones. I want to see interesting, you know, there's so many beautiful things out there with color work. I just love it.